Franken papers using basket liners, wrapping paper, tissue paper, lace, and other items. Stay tuned. Hi everybody, it's Julie. I'm here. I'm working in my November dollar store Christmas junk journal for the November challenge. And today I'm working with wrapping paper and tissue paper and making some of the papers that I'll be using throughout the journal. So I have this paper, this deer paper, and this red truck paper, that wrapping paper that I had picked up at Dollar General. So one of the things I've done is I've just gone ahead and cut out the page, the size of my journal, and so I have that. I'm also using the basket inserts from Dollar Tree, and they are the red checked. And here I have doubled a page and just have it ready, and it is glued around the outside and a little bit on the inside. I just wanted it to be a little bit thicker, but I wanted the noise. And then I also am using some tissue paper. This is red truck tissue paper that I got at Dollar General. And so those are what I am using. Let's put this back where it goes so I don't lose. Be looking for it. Okay, so the first thing that I did was, for each of the wrapping papers, I attached some of the wrapping paper to a coffee dyed paper. So remember, I'm using that larger drawing paper from Dollar Tree. It's going to fit perfectly inside my book. So just taking and adding that, it gives me a thicker paper to work with. I'll still also have the thinner ones, but I really, really like this once I started doing it. So I also have one with the deer that is ready. Okay. And then I took some of the basket liner and I lined a page. And this one I have set up so that it's going to be a pocket. Okay, so I flip it up, because both of these, if I flip them up, you're going to be upside down. But this one I can flip up, so I have glued it to coffee dyed paper and then flip it up. I've got a pocket. Okay, so now I've taken some of the red truck tissue paper and I've also backed that onto some of the coffee dyed paper. Okay, so next, after I trimmed this, I ended up with this little strip here, and I didn't want it to go to waste, so I just attached it like washi on the top of a coffee dyed paper. My coffee dyed paper is light because I didn't have time to stand in front of the oven, so they are air dried. So next I have the inside book pages from my book, and I have gone ahead. This one actually is the last page of the book, and I'm going to be using that for a pocket for the front here. So I attached that to the last page. It's blank on this side. My book is just not appropriate for the words to show up unless I go and read every single thing. Then I also took one of the inside, the first pages from the book. So blank on both sides, really sturdy. And I've attached the some of the tissue paper. And for that one, this one's really thick. This one's thinner. I don't know if you can tell the difference. This one's still a little bit damp. They'll be able to make tags also. So I still have a couple more of those. We'll be Well, I'll show you how I do it in just a moment. And then I have the beginnings of some Franken paper. So these are the pieces that were left over. I've added in one of the note papers. And so I'm going to be stitching over this with my sewing machine. But it's just pieces that were left over. And then I added these patches of the truck. And so I will be zigzagging on that. And yeah, I think it's kind of cool. So it's still drying. Then the other thing that I've done is I used the tissue paper, the red truck tissue paper on the inside of my book, the inside pages, and I just attached it. Now my book needed a new spine, so I cut from the cardboard back of the paper that I'm using, and I cut out 2 pieces to fit, and I've glued them together and glued them in there, and I left an area here so that this will close. I've added some of the lace, so the lace like this, but it came from my burlap and lace, okay, and I added some to the front and some to the back, so you'll see it from the front. I had a little bit of, it showed up a little bit here. If you get the perfect on here, I wouldn't put the lace, but it wasn't perfect, and so I fixed it with the lace, okay? And then I dipped this edge in coffee dye, so it wouldn't be as stark from the outside. So you still get it pretty white here, and then it's coffee dyed there. And I guess I could go and I could just put some coffee dye, because the coffee dyeing was an afterthought. Okay, so that's several ways that you can use if you've chosen tissue paper and wrapping paper. So let me go ahead and just quickly, we'll do a little demonstration. So that gives me, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pages plus these right there, and I think they're going to be kind of cool. Okay, so let's start with, this is a book page from inside the book, and it had writing up here. I took it off. And so really, really simply, I am using the Tombow Mono liquid glue. I like the broad tip on the bottom. I have a paper that my husband copied off for the event on Saturday that it fell on the floor, and I guess he didn't take it, so I'm using it as my background. And I'm pressing and putting glue down, and then I'll come back and I'll drag it across so that more of it goes on. I'm going all the way to the edge because I'm going to want to cut this into tags or pockets or tucks or make an envelope, and that's why I am covering the whole paper, okay? Because I don't want it to be compromised when I cut it. So I'm putting my lid back on it. So this has a fine pen tip at the top and this broad piece at the bottom. Usually I use like when it's getting way down, and this way I'm able to use like every drop. Okay, so we have some of this. This is like the last page left, and I'm just going to go ahead and put it down and go out to the edges. Okay, so there is tissue paper on it. Now some of the tissue paper, the glue does come through, so there we go. Now I'm going to cut this off. Whoop. I'm not straight on here at all. but I might want these pieces for the Franken paper. And of course, Franken paper also makes great tags. Okay, so that I'm just going to set it aside and let it dry. And let's put it on that cellophane up there. Okay, so I have a piece of coffee dyed paper. And again, this is that really, I think we'll copy on this, or paste on this side. So, so one of the I have one of the note papers. I have this paper. So I'm going to come in and I'm just going to kind of patchwork and get an idea of, now I have a big piece of this. I think I'm going to go ahead and cut this in a long straight line. Okay, so we're going to do like this. So I would do the same type of gluing situation and figure out where the best way to cut it off is going to be. If I put it here, I'm going to have this truck and just the Merry Christmas will be cut off. Okay, so imagine that we're gluing that down, putting it down, and then just coming along and adding in the other pieces. Okay, this one might not need the notes, which would be kind of cool. Okay, so if we cut that just under where it says notes, and if I'm really careful with this one, then that would give me a place to write as well. Okay, so you can just keep going along. If you have a strip, you can put a strip along and just keep adding these pieces in. Like, what else do I have? And then, of course, you can come back on top and add like your napkin piece, just to keep the collage kind of going. You can add the notes if you wanted to, and you can cut out pieces of like the truck and have that. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do this now, and you can stay and watch and listen if you'd like, or if you'd like to move on. Just make sure that you like this video if you did. I'd love to know what your favorite is. Are you decoupaging and using pieces from, are you using wrapping paper in your journal? Have you used wrapping paper in your journals before? There I have a piece of the deer paper. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep laying it out, and then I'm going to glue it, and then I'll be sewing it also. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and let's see, let's come down so we get all of him, and There we go. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start with this side that we have figured out. And now, since we're not cutting this one up, we don't need to add as much glue, but there does need to be glue all the way around the edge. Now, if you are going to make this and cut it up for tags, then yes, you want it to go down all the way. Okay, so there's that. And then I'm going to go ahead and press it down. And yes, this will wrinkle. This glue does wrinkle. But I still, you know, for a long time I haven't used this glue. I was using just fabric tack, and I'm really glad that I came back and started using this glue again, because I really do like it. Okay, so now, okay, I want to watch those. Go ahead and pull this up and move it over. I'm just, okay, now come down to here. And we're going to add some of the basket liner, which is the red and white checked basket liner. And I'm going to even this edge up. Okay. So for the November dollar store Christmas junk journal challenge, you can use, there's a details video. It's in the description box down below. And there is a Facebook group that you join, and that's where the extra things happen, because we do have a couple of extra little challenges. This is a collaboration between myself and Kara Brandon, and we do have prizes and a party and all kinds of fun things happening. Okay, let's see if we can pull it over. Yay! Okay, so there's that. Love it. Okay, so now we have this, and I want to make sure that I go around the outside of it. Okay, again, if you're going to be cutting, if you're going to be making tags, you want, I would go ahead and make sure the whole thing is glued down. I am not going to be making tags this time with this particular paper. Okay. Oh, look, we ended just a little short up here. Okay, so we could come in with a piece of lace. Okay. And you could just glue this on just like you would, or sew it on. Okay, so of course you can add lace. There we go. Pull it up. I want to make sure every once in a while that I pull it up so that I don't stick to the back piece. Okay, I'm going to cut this off. Okay. Might be time for a new underpiece. A new old underpiece. You can see that that one's been used before. Okay, so next I have the deer. And let's see. I wanted to see if I could get him. And then I'm going to have to put something here. Okay, let's try and even this up a little. Okay. Okay. Okay, so here we go. We're going to go ahead and add our deer. Oh, dear. Okay. We can use both of these under pieces. Okay. So you want to make sure that the edge is good and glued. And this top, come across. And then I come down this, this, and along here. Okay. Now remember, I want this big buck up here. I want him to line up and to get most of him, and I want this little one down here. Okay. I think we got him. I think we got this one. Okay, so that's what I was going for. And we'll put this down. Okay. Now on the wrapping paper, you can get the glue pieces up pretty. They they pill up on no, this will rip. Yeah, ask me how I know. I know. Okay, so what should we add here? Maybe the Merry Christmas from the tissue. Do we have a piece of that? Oh, we have it in this direction. I'm just going to cut this. And then we'll cut this across. Okay, so that gives us a little piece. You know what? Let's see where that fold is going to be. Okay, so I have this piece that's folded. This is my edge. The fold is going to be on this gray. Okay. So we go little car over to there. And we do have another car. I don't want to cut another another piece of the tissue if I don't have to. Okay, so look at here. If this goes up here, and this goes down here. See, the other thing I have a strip of this, but it's too thin. It's like patching. And I decided not to use tickets in my, as one of my 15 items, so I can't use the tickets because that would, if I had, I could do that. I have some coffee dye tickets. Oh. What if we do that? Not quite. Okay, here we go. Okay. When I hear that one ring, I'm like, I better check and make sure I'm still filming, that somebody didn't call on my phone. Okay, so we're going to put these down because I know I want these here. Okay, I like that very much. Okay, then we'll put the next one down. So what other papers do we have? Just, these are our papers. I think this is all we've got. What you see is what we've got. Oh, we didn't go up high enough. Oh, I know what we can use. How about a piece of a sticker? Could go there, right? Put this back where it goes. Piece of a sticker. I have the stickers over here. I have 2 sheets. Okay, what else do we have? Oh, you know what? We have these. We have our little things that we made. What if we put a piece of lace here? Okay, and added one of our, yeah, that's what we'll do. Okay, should we go all the way to the top? Yeah, we'll go all the way to the top. Okay, so the embellishments that we made with our 2 punches and our washi tape and our items that some people didn't like. I mean, it's simple, and you know, some people don't like simple. A lot of people don't realize that, you know, just because they already know how to do things, that we get new people every day that come over to the paper crafting side that have never paper crafted before. And so anyway, there, and I think we can, nope, I'm gonna have to put glue on it. So these are some of my 30 little embellishments. I'll put that video, I'll link it down below in the description box. But also the playlist for all of everything that I'm making for this challenge will also be there. Here's another one of those. These were my favorite. I like the hearts where I used the wreath off the side of the truck. Okay. So again, we're making like Franken paper here. And that was a term, I believe Nic the Booksmith came up with that term. And that's because after you do this, then you go ahead and you sew it, you stitch it, and it looks like you stitched together Frankenstein. Okay. So I do have to wait for mine to dry and before I can do any stitching on it. So we'll go ahead and do that and we'll be back. Okay, we're back. We have our Franken page, and so I went ahead and I have done the seams all along in these places, and I decided to go ahead and go all the way around the outside as well. So I really like this. I like the way this page feels, and it actually made it seem to be a little less unruly because I did not iron my papers or anything. So, but it's made it substantial. I think it'll look great with pictures put on it or journaling. But look at this. This is the other side. So you have this patchwork look on the other side. I love it. Okay, so this is the other one that I had done. And for this one, we've gone on all of the seams and then around the patches. Okay, so I considered, oh, found a string. I considered these patches, and then on this side I added some of that, the checked, we gathered it. Now this I was going to do a large top tuck. We end up with a small top tuck and a, we'll be able to put something in from this side. So I think that's kind of cool. But again, you have the patchwork look from the other side, and the page is less unruly. And then this is one that I made after the video. I was going to go ahead and do a full page like this. I put down this square and these two, and I loved it just like that. So I just added the truck and the home for the holidays and some of the check ruffle here. And so this one has seam here, here, and down here. I didn't put this down because I glued this on top before I sewed it. So these are my Franken papers for my November dollar store Christmas junk journal challenge, and I'll be using these for for papers in my journal. I do have my pages, my signatures are put together. Here's my cover. I did add some snow here, and that was when I took the lace off my burlap. It fuzzed up, so I added some snow. I changed out, instead of the glue, I'm using the gold number 544 fingernail polish. I liked its sparkle much better. I used a piece of the napkin here and added some glitter and the little berries, and added the ruffle here and here. The Merry Christmas from the napkin, as well as the truck is from the napkin. This is one of those note papers, and I added that to the front. And then I took, after I added this to the spine, and I took these long pieces and I tied them and came up with that bow, and I just glued it down loosely, so some of the pieces are glued down and some of them are not. Added some bling here and some bling here, and burlap, there's burlap down under here, and I love it. So that is my cover so far. And remember, I added the lace, and I coffee dyed part of the lace. So I still have to come up with something for in here using one of my 15 items. So I'm struggling there, you guys. Okay, so I have this, and this one goes inside here. Okay. And then this is going to be my center signature of this one. And then I have this one. And you see I have these pages set out, so I know where it goes. It's going to go right inside there. Okay, so I have my signatures ready to sew in. And again, using the basket liner, the wrapping paper, the deer wrapping paper, and the tissue paper, and the note papers, and then some napkins throughout. I think that this is going to be really, really a lot of fun. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you want to see a look at what my papers look like so far, go ahead and comment in the comments down below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are doing some Franken pages, go over and check out Nic the Booksmith and tell her thank you for the idea. You guys, usually I'm too lazy to actually go and stitch them, but I think that it really made a difference on these pages this time. I'm really happy that I did that. So there you go. We'll continue with more of the Dollar Store Christmas Junk Journal Challenge videos coming soon. Thanks for being here. Find something to celebrate every day. Don't forget to subscribe and have an amazing day. Bye. Bye-bye.